afternoon, sir. Happy holiday. Is that you're doing holiday in Nigeria? Can you hear me? It's not connected.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, amazing.
Yes,
how's your holiday going? It's holiday. Sorry,
fine,
people that are watching.
fine.
It's holiday, but I'm very, very raz. So I call it holiday.
Yeah.
Like how many public holiday has Nigeria had this month? Like 12.
Not enough.
I don't understand. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Nigeria should just let's just take a month's break from all these things that we are doing and know that we are going to enjoy ourselves.
You know, we still want some more actually.
Okay. I'm on my own then. How's your day been going, sir?
Yeah, very good. Very, very good. Very good.
So, apart from the fact that we know that you're a preacher, you're a pastor, you're a father, you're a husband, you are, I know you're into sports, golf, and is it table tennis?
Not golf. Tennis.
Someone told me golf.
No.
Wrong information.
Yeah.
Maybe you are going to golf level now, and you just have a golf course at your backyard.
Yeah. You know.
Nice. So apart from all those things that we already know, what's one thing we don't know about Pastor Kingsley that people will say,
wow. Well, these are basic things. Anybody that follows me already knows the things I like.
You like red shoes?
Football. I don't like red shoes, interestingly.
But you always have like one red shoe or one other red shoe.
It's the same. I'm sure it's the same one.
Pastor confessing.
I'm sure it's the same one. So apart from, I like fast cars. I like performance cars. So whether they are fast cars or trucks, things like that. And I like football. I'm a committed football fan. The basic things.
What club do you support?
Man City. We are the champions. We are the reigning champions. Manchester City.
Oh, I'm not a football fan.
We forgive you.
I told myself that it is going back to colonial mentality since secondary school. So I did not like that.
Yeah.
So okay. Maybe if you come to Canada next year, they always have like a car show where they bring like a lot of crazy cars. Yes. So if you come to Canada that time, it's always between March and April, around that time.
Yeah.
So
that would be awesome.
If you come around, we will give you a tour.
I look forward to it.
It's always an amazing show. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so down to the show. So when people say that, okay, the first question that people will ask is it bad or is it wrong to be single? And the reason why people will ask that question is because by the time, especially for ladies, once they're 20, 22, once they finish university, it's a cycle of primary school, secondary school, university, get a job, get married, get a job, born children, born more children. Let me use your word. Take care of those children, stay at home with those children. I remember one of the messages that you were like, you have nothing to do in society. And I'm like, it's true. People have that cycle. So there's that fear of they don't want to be single, or people are already telling them, oh, you should already be bringing someone home, or parents are already asking questions or comparing them to their friends and saying, oh, at this time, you're 24 already. What I did with your life when I was 21, I was married, I gave back to you and your brother, So it puts that pressure on the ladies. For the guys, they give them leeway because they feel like a man should be the one to take care of the home, so he should have a job and should do everything right and should make sure everything is going well. And there's that, is it double standard we'll call it, where they feel like women should be the one being the chaser and the mentality of marriage, and the guys should have the mentality more of work and money.
It's not really double standards. It's just because the man and the woman were made differently from the scratch. So our interests are just different. Our concerns are just different. So the society issue is there, but the reason why the society pressure is there It's because generally women get more fulfillment from family life. Women just do. You know, most women, of course. You know, men are usually rugged. Most men don't even feel they are missing anything. They are not married. They have no urgency to have children. Men can have children at 40, at 50. You know, there's no urgency for them. But for the woman, it's not so. So yes, the society pressure is there. You know, and I kind of sympathize. I kind of feel the pressure ladies face. But the truth is that we still have to fight the pressure any which way.
Yeah.
We can't allow that to push us, you know, prematurely into marriage, because a lot of women today are in those relationships and they are not happy. They are not fulfilled. Many of them want to come out. Many of them know they would have done better if they had, you know, stayed single a bit longer. You know, so the pressure is like that, but we just need more voices encouraging them to, hey, look, stay single enough, stay single, you know, get married only when being married is better than being single, not just because of the pressure. And that's where the issue is. You should only live your singlehood when being married is actually a better, you know, option. That means there's a good man, there's a good plan, you know, things like that. Not just that, hey, I'm tired of being single. I don't want to be single. Society pressure, shame. I'll marry anybody. So, and that's what we are seeing a lot of these days.
So someone just said a comment, and now the pressure is more on getting pregnant and having an offspring before you die. So women are forced to go against the word of God.
Yeah.
But the question I kind of see from there going is, so when it comes to the pressure, because there's something about, there's one thing to be single, get married, and there's a pressure when you get married to have the child like immediately. Everybody is different. Some people want to do everything and have their children in the first 5 years of their marriage and get over with. Some people want to like enjoy themselves for 2-3 years before they like go into all that. So there is that biological clock ticking and the baby clock ticking, and everybody's saying, you know, it's very important, go get married or this. And now we're seeing a lot of even Christian homes edging towards divorce, all because of all this quick scheme, quick this. So the question is this: when I'm single and I meet a guy or I meet a lady, how long is too long to get to know the person before I get married?
Okay, there's no tailor-made or tailor-cut approach to these things. It depends on God's plan for your life, where you are in the stage of life generally. But if two people meet, for instance, how fast should they be thinking of getting married? I would say anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, depending on how long they've known each other and how well. You know, it's really not about the length, it's about how well. So, for instance, if we've been friends from childhood, we've been friends for a long time, and we decide to start a relationship, 6 months can work if we've known ourselves very well before the time. But if we're just meeting, then 6 months might be small, because there's usually a cycle of relationships, and this happens with everything. There's a cycle that allows you to get a better view of people and situations. So 6 months is small if we have not really known ourselves. We need to, you know, stretch it a bit more. 1 year, a bit above that, so that we'll go around, we'll see situations, we'll see how they handle pressure, you know, how they handle things, you know. But so that's just it. There's no fixed time. It depends on how long have you guys known each other, how much have you been friends. You know, I place more emphasis on the friendship period, because there's less pretending at that time. There's less pressure to be something somebody wants you to be. So I think the main issue is that people don't take time to be friends. They just jump from meeting someone to let's plan marriage, because the pressure is there. Yes, the pressure is there. So people don't want to waste time. Just say, hey, are you a guy? Do you want to marry me? Let's marry. You know, the stamina of any relationship is the friendship time. That's the stamina. That's where the structure is built.
Now, sir, every time I think about the beginning, that is when Adam was in the garden, I look at a man that walked with God, worked for God, and had a purpose in his work. But nowadays, you see more single guys that they are more money driven than adding the purpose and having a work. So you can have a walk with God, but having a purpose and knowing the purpose of why God created you, and also having a work that brings you money is important. But nowadays, you see more men that are more money conscious than purpose conscious. Why is that happening now?
Two reasons. Number one, to be honest with you, there's little or nothing going on as per mentoring men. All right. Going on as per mentoring men. So that is a problem. Second issue is there's financial pressures. All right. So people are not interested in those long-term plans. They're just interested in solving their short-term problems. So those are the two reasons why it's like that. You know, so the scenario you painted is the ideal. All right. People like us had the privilege of doing that. We're able to understand. Before we even made money, we understood where we're going in life, what we wanted to do with our life. You know, the money just came as a byproduct of finding purpose and that work with God. But many other people, in my experience, many other people, they just had to solve their financial problems. Some of them even just acquired the wife as part of the furniture and things they had to acquire. You know, it's just the right time. I have money now. Let me marry and have kids. So they don't really have a big plan. It doesn't involve their wife. They don't see their wife as a partner. You know, so that becomes a real issue.
So when you talk about mentorship and when it comes to like most men, and I agree to tell you that there are so many women conferences, women prayer meeting, women this, women that, women, and you see less of it for men. Is it like there can't be it, or is it that men are not willing to learn those basics?
All right, it's both. They are not enough. The truth is that women do better with sitting and learning. All right. So women do better with learning by conferences, by meetings. Men are usually not easily interested in those things. So, you know, that's one thing. Then secondly, like I said, people just didn't pay attention to that. It's of recent that many people started complaining that, hey, we're training the women, but they still have to marry these men that are untrained. So, you know, so the campaign has started now to try and do some more for men. Personally, I have a coaching course in July for men, 7 things that men should provide, because all that most men think they are meant to provide in a home or in their life is just money. So there are 6 other things they have to provide that have nothing to do with money that makes that home work well. And a lot of them they don't know that. Nobody even taught me that. I learned that after many years of working with God. So honestly, there's little or nothing going on with coaching men, but I want to start doing more of that. And I see 1 or 2 or 3 people, you know, trying to pay attention to that. So I believe that the revival is coming in that area and things will get better. You know, things will get better.
So there's the external pressure, like you said earlier, but when the external pressure begins to get in and create internal pressure for a single person, and she's in a, you know, there is that prestige. You know, I was watching a live show a couple of months ago, I think sometime last year, and it was a Black American lady, and she said that part of the reasons why she doesn't want to rush into marriage is that the society believes there's a prestige for the married woman. It's like it's an extra bag. Like there was a day she went for, I think, a meeting, and they were like, "Oh, I Mrs. this," and they greeted her sister very well because she was married, and it was her. And they were like, "Hi," and they just like showed her to the side, and she felt like, "Oh, so is it like because I'm not married, that's why you are treating me that way?" And I've heard a lot of ladies say the same thing. People think that once you're in your 30s, yes, the biological clock, they say, is ticking, but the truth is, we actually push a lot of ladies into the a lot of ladies allow the external pressure to create internal pressure, and once internal pressure starts on, there are lots of issues. So how can we deal with that, where we kind of, not a wall, but we kind of get refuge in some place where the external pressure doesn't come in, and even when it comes in, you're able to equip yourself and not allow the internal pressure allow you to go into the "oh baby mama" syndrome now?
Well, that is true. To be honest with you, society kind of honors the married woman more. It just happens, and I can't really explain why it does, but I know for a surety that people generally would take a married woman more seriously, treat her with respect. You know, sometimes you don't even know who she's married to. She's enjoying both her own clouds and her husband's cloud. So there are a lot of factors. You know, it's not really something we can all solve here. It's just like the way people generally want to respect men more than they respect women. That just happens. That has nothing to do with, you know, if a guy and a lady goes out on a date, people just assume the guy is the one sponsoring the date. So the drivers or the security men, whatever, they just greet the man. You know, they don't even greet the woman. Yes. They greet the man. They believe he's the one paying. That he's the one that will give us a tip. He's the one that will, you know, they just assume, even the waiter assumes the guy is the one that's going to pay the bill. When he brings the bill, he's not going to give it to the woman. He's going to give it to the guy. It's just all these things happen. And to be honest, I don't think you and I are going to change that today, you know. So what I would advise the single ladies to do is to have a strong sense of purpose and a strong sense of God's timing for their own individual life. The problem we all face as human beings, whether single or married, is that we all think there is a uniform agenda or uniform calendar for every human being. So we believe that once you're done with primary school, you must go to high school. If after that, you must go to college. We just have a belief that everything must go at a certain rate. And that is not true. God made all of us totally different. So we need to overcome that pressure as humans to feel I must do things when everybody's doing it. I must join the bandwagon. No, you must have a strong sense of identity, a strong sense of personal timing. For instance, you know, when most of my colleagues were in relationships, I was not, because I felt it was not time. I felt I was not ready to marry. If I was just going to enter a relationship, it would be for the fun of it. So it was awkward going to events when everybody introduced their fiancés and I didn't have. So but I had to overcome that, you know, and a lot of those relationships then didn't lead anywhere. You know, they didn't get married or anything. It was just what they were doing, what everybody was doing. So it takes courage to be different. It takes courage to stand up, you know, because it's very easy to join the crowd. You know, so even when we got married, when I got married, I and my wife agreed that we're not going to have kids for the first 2 years or so. You know, all these things were in common at the time. Because everybody felt, the moment you get married, we're 9 months, you must have kids. And we felt, hey, because the truth, and most single people don't know, and I try to tell them, especially the ones that have some time on their hands, when you get married, please take time to know each other, because once the kids come, your lives will never remain the same. And that will happen for the next 20 or so years. You know, so I said, hey, I wanted to get time to even know my wife. Let's just enjoy the marriage. Only two of us in the house. We can walk around not fully dressed. You know, we can go out on a date. We can travel impromptu. A lot of things, you know, that a lot of married couples don't enjoy today. So we took that time out and, you know, tried not to have kids immediately. You said I will get to enjoy. And that foundation is still helping us today, you know, because there was a bonding we've developed then that kind of helped us, because we're busy people. We're crazily busy today. So imagine if we didn't have that time when we could all just focus on each other alone and no kids, no distractions, you know. So everybody has to overcome this pressure. So my advice to single ladies or single people generally is try and have a strong sense of personal timing. You know, try and have a strong sense of your own unique identity. You are a total different person. God has a total unique plan for you, you know. And trust me, it's not going to be easy to hold on to that feeling when other people are getting married or families putting you under pressure. So you must have some people around you that also appreciate that sense of timing. So it might be your spiritual family, it might be friends, family, or people that you know that understand these things. You hang out with those people from time to time. They strengthen your resolve. Because we were created to go together with other people. We're created to do life with other people. So once you have people like this that understand what you're doing, they will encourage you to hold your ground. But if you don't have people like that, what happens is that even if you're trying to be unique, everybody will tell you, you are being too picky, you are getting old, just marry anybody. And unfortunately, these people tell you to marry anybody. By the time you marry and the thing is not working, they've all gone to their house. They're your own. They don't care. They don't care. Totally on your own. So, and to be honest with you, from my own experience of doing this job for 20-something years, I know for a short that a lot of married women are not happy in their homes. A lot.
Sure.
You know, but everybody's clapping for them. They are treating them as married women, but they know they're not married. Yes, you know, they're not happy. They know they're not happy, you know, so.
So, Pastor, there was this, so when this book came out, Crushing by T.D. Jakes, I got the ebook then. Yeah. But it was not sweet. Okay. It was not sweet to read as much as I had to go and look for the hard copy. And one of the things that I highlighted that really, really caught me, and I wanted to say that is something that, okay, someone has a question actually. Okay, let me take that question first. How do we know the right man for us? Okay, I'll take that question first.
Okay, so don't forget what you were explaining. Okay, so
yeah, I won't forget. I'm in the page I want to read, so I won't forget it.
Okay. All right. How do you know the right man for you? The truth is that you have to have some basic things on your list before the time. All right. You have to have some basic things on your list before the time. So we just did a series titled The List now. So you need to find out what are the things that are important to you as a person. A few general things, then you need to have a few specific things. All right. The general ones are basic things. For me, I'm a Christian, so I would want somebody that is also a born-again Christian like me, because we must be on the same wavelength spiritually. The Bible says two cannot work together except they be agreed. All right. So that's one. Another one of the general things is their character. I actually have a book titled "Who Should I Marry?" where I broke these things down. You know, second one is also a C. First one is Christ. Second one is a C to character. So what is their character like? All right. Beyond their figure, beyond his money, beyond his job, beyond popularity, beyond how handsome, how beautiful, what is their character like? All right. And I will digress a bit here to say this is why just marrying someone you meet on the internet can be a bit tricky, because you don't really have a chance to know their character. People can write anything they like when it's not really them. So that's just there. So their character, how do they behave? How do they treat people? What governs their lives? You know, what's their philosophy, their thinking like? You know, another thing can be compatibility. You know, what are our values? You know, what is important to us? There are a lot of people today that don't see fraud as a big deal. You know, so is that the kind of family you want to build? You know, a lot of people don't see honoring God as a big deal. So is that the kind of family you want to build? Values, your basic values. What was your value about money? You know, so basic things like that. So, the issue is check. There are general things on your list, and there are specific things. For me, I like a lady with a sense of humor, because I'm a very funny person. I like to laugh, so I like the lady to be able to have a sense of humor. I generally like strong women. I don't like women that are weak or that don't like to walk or don't like to do things. So I like strong women. So those are, my own specifics. Apart from the generals, there are things I would like. Then I generally like a homely woman. I like somebody that can cook. So I'm saying basically, I can't tell you all the things you need, but there are general ones and there are specific ones. So, you need to be able to write out a list before you meet the man. Decisions you make before the time are the best decisions. The ones you're trying to make on the spot, you'll be changing your mind. Make your decisions ahead. That, hey, these are important factors for me. Anybody that is not meeting this kind of ones, then lastly, there must also be the negotiable ones. So there are some things that I say, most women like a guy that is taller than them. But the truth is that at the end of the day, his height is only for picture value and for children value. If it's good with other things, if it's a good Christian or a good believer, has a good character, has a good job, is stable, he loves you, he cares for you, let's compromise on the height. All right, let's compromise. So that I'm saying, so you need to know, I don't want to marry somebody that is dark, but you now meet somebody that he's good with every other thing except just that he's dark. That's a negotiable one. All right, so there are three categories: the general ones that everybody should have, the specific ones to you, things you really, really like and you feel you can't do without, then the negotiable ones. The ones that, okay, this is nice, but I can let go of this because this guy has a lot of good things going for him. So that's what I think.
Okay, so I believe that question has been answered. So T.D. Jakes wrote something, and I'll quickly read, and I want to tie it into the old pressure net. He said, we want quality, but we don't want to wait. Quality takes time. As I look around, it doesn't take much to see that this current generation is accustomed to fast food, instant information, and new friendship at the click of a button. Because of such immediate results, we've ignored the diminishing quality of those things we receive instantly and our subsequent lack of appreciation for them. Our desire for instant gratification has ushered us to the point that we sacrifice excellent quality because of the difficulty and time it takes to produce it. So the question is this: it's good to wait, like you said, it's good to know what you want, it's good to this, but in a generation where everything is rush, you meet him on Christian Mingle, you follow him. What's the title? The title of the book is Crushing by T.D. Jakes.
Yes.
I played that part, all of you. But it's a very nice book. It's a very, very good book. But in a generation where everything is, Pastor, pray for me, and he's calling you tomorrow, as God told you, like we always, sometimes I feel like we're quick to want to get everything, and we've gone back to the place of the Old Testament where we're now going back to the priests to hear what God is saying for us, instead of, since we already have access and we're not making use of the access. So when it comes to the pressure of being, of like, oh, I'm single, people are looking at me somehow, I am ashamed, people don't feel like I'll get married and all that, instant gratification in wanting a quality man but not waiting for it, how can we put this all together?
Well, the honest truth is that that is a big factor right there. And to be honest, we will pay the price for whatever part of our lives we're not ready to go the full hog. We'll just pay the price. If you don't want to make out time to parent your kids, you pay the price in the future. If you don't want to make up your mind to be disciplined in your finances, you will pay the price. So this thing you're saying that a lot of people are doing today, that they don't want to take time to grow, they don't want to take time to wait, they will still pay the price. Like they say, you have to choose your heart. It's either hard work or hard life, but you choose your heart. There's always a heart. You know, there will be a heart. You know, that's just how it works. That's just how it works. So they're just postponing the inevitable. If you want to rush into something that is not well grounded, you will now, the patience you didn't want to have of waiting for the right guy, you will now have patience with the wrong guy in the marriage. So that's that patience, you will still have it. It's just that you either have it while you're waiting to meet the right person, because quality takes time, like Bishop said. Quality takes time. That's the honest truth. If I had to deal with that at the time when I was waiting also, because I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted, and I knew I had not seen it. But there were a lot of other people around me, and I could just, manage this people, but I knew, somebody also reminded me then that, look, the thing you are looking for is not it's a rare combination. It's a rare combination. You wanted somebody smart, somebody beautiful, somebody spiritual, that's a rare combination. So you have to be able to wait. But there are a lot of other people around you, but they are not that thing. You can marry them and you'll be, putting in so much effort to be happy. Or you can just wait and allow God come through, because he's already working on something. God is always working on something. The issue is that God is not a magician. So, the abracadabra thing will work. When you pray, he has to go into work. So if you're praying, especially when you're praying for a human being, that takes a lot of logistics. He might have to import the person to the country where you are. A lot of factors. The person might need to, lose their job first. Now go and seek another job, and now get a job that makes them travel or come for a course in the town where you are. Then go and buy Starbucks coffee at exactly 2 p.m. when you will be going to buy coffee. So God is not a magician. He has to work all those things out. So it takes patience. It takes sensitivity of heart. You must be sensitive to the voice of the Spirit. And that's what people don't want to grow. They just want God, do it. God, I don't care how you do it, or just do it. And it shows in people's life. So more people are depressed. More people are not happy, because they are not being fulfilled, because they're trying to, short circuit the process. So you're absolutely right. Quality takes time. That is the truth. I experienced the same thing. Amongst my friends and colleagues, I was amongst the last to marry, because I just knew what I wanted. And to be honest with you, I am totally happy God gave me the grace to wait, because I'm happy with the person I'm married to now. I feel I would not be this great, I would not be this happy, I would not be this successful if I didn't marry my wife.
Thank God you said that, because I saw an interview or like a talk your wife had, and she said, I couldn't just marry anybody. I think, I can't remember. And she said, because I know that in myself, I'm going to marry somebody, I'm going to add so much quality to you, and you become a better person that you were before. And for me, it takes a woman that understands the purpose of God for her life and understands herself to be able to do that. Now, it's not just about the ring or putting the ring on it, or the quick trip down to the altar, or liking the man right now because he's doing and saying everything right. One thing you said now is like one of the things he wrote in his book, and he said that the mystery of God is hidden in the beauty of the seed revealed in his wonderful use of the growth process. So if you plant, you know how we are as human beings is like, we like annual crops a lot. But what we love is perennial products. So you like to plant maize and see it immediately, like you want to see the shoot you want. But what's in your mind that you actually would like a palm tree That when you plant, it will take time for it to actually come out with even a leaf. We had one in my house. I was so frustrated. I was frustrated because I'm like, this is just wasting space. But before I left the house, it was so beautiful. It covered it created shade in the house, and it took over 3-4 years before it did that. And in my mind, I'm like, that's the same thing as human beings. We're so quick to want that thing now. And my pastor would say it's like putting the cart before the horse. Yeah. Because you just want that thing now, but understanding the process of the kind of person you want. And that's where my next question is leading. Pastor, every woman wants a spiritual, God-fearing, but it should be a fun guy. Because we had a youth retreat, young adults, because they don't call it youth here. Youth are teenagers, young adults are what we call youth in Nigeria. I understand. So we had a young adults retreat, and someone asked a question that why is it that Christian sisters say they don't? This is what brother said. He said he had a sister that he went to meet and said, oh, this I believe this is God's will for my life and that, and she said, you're too spiritual. Wow. And the question is, what's the definition of being too spiritual? Because you talked about having a list, which is not bad, to be very sincere. It's good to have a list. It's good to know who is and what you want. But Pastor, I have seen some lists and I have the fear of God. The fear of God entered to me because of all of the things on that list. Yes. Now, what informs the list? Where do we create a balance in setting up our list? And when we get that list, how do we not use our carnal mind to actually write it? And because people say that, oh, there's a shame to being single, but that'll be my second question on, is there actually a shame to being single? So the first question is on that list part of it.
Okay, that's a very good point. The truth is that, you know, it's good to have a list, but the question is, what is informing, you know, what's on your list? I'm sorry, I'm trying to charge my phone. Honey, this thing's not charging. I'm trying to charge the phone before it dies. Can you plug it directly in the socket? If you can.
We're greeting you, Pastor Mildred.
They can hear you. She's trying to help me charge. I don't want my phone to die before the time.
God bless you too.
Okay. All right. So, as I was saying, it's good to have a list, but now the issue is, you know, what is informing the thing on the list? You know, what is informing the thing on the list? You know, so like you said, a lot of people are carnal. All right, they are just carnal people, you know, and they are writing things that don't make any sense. I'm sure, you know, and sometimes I need to sit with people to help them articulate, you know. So this is where good counseling comes in. You know, I cannot underplay the place of good counseling. You know, there are people I sit with and they tell me like, oh, Pastor, I want to marry graduates. And I'll be like, is it a graduate you want or somebody mentally compatible with you? You know, because there are some graduates that you can't stand. There are some graduates that can't speak the word of English. There are some graduates that are embarrassing. You know, so what you want is somebody mentally compatible. I know some people that are not graduates, but when you spend time with them, you know, for instance, when I got married, I had OND. My wife had a master's degree. You know, so if she was like some lady, she wouldn't have married me. You know, most of the world's changers are not college degree holders. They're not graduates. You know, the Bill Gates and the Michael Dells, the Mark Zuckerberg and co. So how can you say you will not marry Mark Zuckerberg because he's not a graduate? No, what you mean is that you want somebody intelligent. That's what you want. So I have to help ladies articulate what exactly they want. You know, so some people say, there was a lady I counseled. She's a high achiever. She has traveled around the world. She has a PhD, a lot of great things. She's a high achiever. She said she wants somebody like her. I said, no, that's not what you want. If you want another person that's a high achiever like you, two of you might have issues. Two of you might always need to travel. Two of you will have issues with, you know, adjusting. That what you might need a calmer person than you. You might need somebody calmer. And today she's engaged to that guy. They're going to get married soon, you know, sometime this year. Because of that counsel. I told her, no, that's not what you need. You don't need the guy doesn't have to be as well traveled as you. It doesn't have to be as well educated as you. You know, because if two of you are power like that, you have an issue with, submission and other things, So I think sometimes people need to talk to someone that can help them articulate what their concern is. The lady saying somebody's too spiritual, it depends on what exactly she means. The guy might be laid back, but can he improve? Can he get better? Can you teach him? Sometimes God brings people into your life because you have what it takes to, better their own life. It's not every time God will give you a finished product. But many people, what they have on their list is the finished product. Not knowing that sometimes God gives raw materials. You will build what you want out of it, So that is where the issue is. So what informs your list is important. If you are too carnal, you might be writing things you think are important today, but somebody that has been married for a while will tell you this thing you are looking for is not going to count. It's not going to be important to you in 10 years down the road, So I think counsel will help in such a thing,
So my next question will be the shame in quote of being single. And I believe that the single life is just like when I feel overwhelmed or I feel like being single is this, I think I go back to the book where most of the books that Paul wrote, and when I see the exploits Paul did,
a single person.
Being single is sweet. Like you have your freedom. You can travel anywhere. You can do whatever you want to do. You're not tied down to anything. But why people feel like they don't want to say they are single, it's like 6 years ago. Yeah, about 6 years ago, you were preaching on a Sunday on Silverbird, and you were talking about people that jump from one relationship to the other, and you were talking about it as the reason why I can't forget is because you were saying that most people don't get healed before they rush into the next one, and they feel that the next one will heal them, and they rush into the next one, and it becomes a vicious cycle that when they settle at the end of the day, they're not able to actually know who they are all through those relationships. So why would people now feel like it is a shame to just be on your own and continue to actually get to know yourself and know why God has created you for yourself?
Yeah, the truth is that, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people don't grow. All these things is just society telling them you must marry. You must first grow. Your single years are not just years you are waiting to get married. That's not what your single years are about. Your single years is a time when you're actually investing in yourself. It's like you giving yourself some time and saying, hey, I want to be the best version of me. Because from the day you enter a relationship, you start to share your resources, your time, your money, your energy begins to be shared. Once you get married, once you have kids, it gets worse. Because you're going to share yourself into many, many parts now. So your single years are the only time actually you have time for yourself. It's like when you package yourself, you prepare yourself for destiny, not even just for marriage. You are preparing for destiny. What Paul was saying is that if you're single, seek not to be married. Don't be in a rush to marry. If you're married, seek not to come out. He's saying make the most of whatever stage you are in, because you might not have this chance again. So see people like you now, see what you're building. You're building something. Some other person is just waiting to be married. Instead of finding their purpose, finding what they're passionate about, learning something, learning a skill, pursuing a dream, pursuing an interest. What some single people don't even know is that sometimes in line of pursuing your dreams, that is where you even meet who you're supposed to marry. In line with pursuing your hobbies, your interests, that is where you're going to meet the person. My wife, I met my wife because when we did a reunion in our set, she was the one assigned to bake the cake. That was what gave us a chance to meet. Imagine if she didn't know how to bake a cake. Because then when she was waiting to get into university or something, she went to school to learn how to bake. She went to the school to learn how to do decorations. She was doing something with her time. But many single people, they just see singleness as, a time to just wait till somebody marries you. So they are on a lookout. Once you say hello to them, their mind goes to marriage. You don't understand that. Build your social skills. Build simple skills. Not everybody you meet, you must date. You must have to define relationships. Some people you are meeting are your friends, and they might be the person that will even connect you to who you marry, but you have already dated them because you're on a marriage mode. Anybody you meet, you just date. So you've dated them. You have a string of exes. You have a string of people in your past, and it's messing up who you are today because everybody you date kind of makes a deposit on you. Everybody kind of makes an impression on you. It affects how you see relationships. It affects how you see the opposite sex. So you are going from one level of brokenness to another. Instead of stepping back, allowing God work on you, trusting in God's timing. You know, build yourself. Your single years are for building. And you're not building for marriage, really. You're building for destiny. Because marriage is not the destination. Marriage is not a destination. Because many people do marriage like, if I just get there, I'll be happy. No. Marriage is not a destination. It doesn't make anybody happy. It's work.
If you're a miserable single person, you'll be a miserable married person.
You'll be a miserable married person. Exactly. So many people have that. They plan that, oh, if I just get married, all my problems will be solved. I'll be the happiest person in the world. Which is a big joke. You know? So to curb that shame, it still comes back to the same thing. A strong sense of identity. All right? A strong sense of identity of who you are in God. Who God made you to be. And that's the biggest thing God gave us. But most times we look down at it. It's the biggest thing. Who God made you to be. You are a unique person. There's nobody like you in all the world. You know, there has never been somebody like you. There's nobody like you right now. And there will never be another person like you. So you are such a rare gift. You're such a rare gem. See yourself like that. And you have such a unique calling and unique timing to everything about your life. So we need more people that can embrace their uniqueness. That's what single means. Single means you are like called out of the rest. That's what single. You don't single something out. You know, you are called out of the rest, and people are trying to join the bandwagon. All my mates are married. In life, there's no mates. After primary school and secondary school, there's no mate. Everybody just go your plan. You know, follow your own plan from there. You know, and embrace your journey. You know, so that's how we overcome that shame. It's a battle, but we must win the battle because the alternative is still not good. You know, if you succumb to the pressure, you will enter something where you will still be ashamed, you will still be unhappy. And look, everybody deserves to be happy. Everybody deserves to be happy. So we need to conquer that shame and say, hey, I'm single now. I'm searching. In fact, there are even people that don't even want to get married. It's not even a crime.
It's not a sin.
It's not a crime. It's not a crime. So, you know, we must get that sense of uniqueness. You mustn't do what everybody's doing. You know, there's too much pressure on us to be how everybody is, and that's the problem. And we can't change society, but you can change yourself. You're not able to change everybody's mindset, but you can change your own mindset and say, hey, guys, don't put me under pressure. When it's time, when I meet somebody I feel is going to be better, you know, to be married to this person than being single, then I'll marry. Because the principle is 2 must be better than 1. If you're going to marry someone and you'll be worse, then don't marry the person, stay single. A lot of people will do better with their lives if they are single.
So I wanted to say 2 things before I continue. Please, everyone, if you have questions, just send it, and Pastor Kingsley will answer your questions. Now, the first thing I wanted to say was one example you gave years ago. So I've not been stalking Pastor Kingsley, but if you know, you know. So there's an example when you're talking about being intelligent. And you were talking to ladies. I think it was a ladies thing. You were talking to ladies at that point during the message, and this was years ago. You said there was a day, I think it was at the reunion before you met your wife. That they were talking about something, and someone asked a question, and nobody knew it in the room, and your wife answered the question, and it was a voice that you had, and you're like, I must talk to this lady before she goes. Yeah. Now you give an example of when you are in a relationship with someone and you know that this person has interest in something, try and a little bit take interest in whatever it is and know a little bit about everything, not even just what the person likes, but even general knowledge about things. And give an example of Chelsea Club. And you said that if they're asking, do you know who played yesterday with Chelsea? And she'll be like, Chelsea, is it not the one my father used to drink? And I laugh because there are a lot of ladies that actually don't read.
Yes.
They don't read self-development books. Yeah, it's good to read romance novels like some ladies will do. But move past the romance novels you've read all through secondary school and move to actually reading things that will actually help you either spiritually or leadership wise or mentally all round. Like, it's just important to actually do that. Then the second thing I wanted to touch on was I was watching this conference by Pastor Kojoyemade's church, Covenant Christian Center. So Pastor, his wife they had a conference called the B Conference, BE. So B, just B, like let there be lights, that kind of thing. Yes. So there was this woman, I can't remember her name. She had been single for a very long time. So there had been external pressure, internal pressure family pressure, everything pressure around her. And she was like, when the person will come, the person will come. And she kept like doing her work, doing everything. And she said she intentionally celebrated her 50th birthday because she purposely called everybody and said, at least since I'm 50, everybody will keep quiet and say they will not come and meet me that they want me to get married. And it was that day that she met her husband.
Wow.
On her 50th birthday. So she was trying to tell single ladies that there's no shame. There's nothing like waiting for too long. You just wait till. She said now she's living her best life. She's doing whatever she like. Like she's not planning to like start having babies now and all that. Is it when she's 100 that maybe we don't do 50th birthday? That she doesn't mind that the people that God has surrounded her with have become children to her and all that. But for me, it is. She has already known herself, known her worth, known her identity. And it goes back to what you just said, that know who God has made you to be. Don't just be carried away by just wanting to get married every time. Like there's more to life than just being married.
Yeah.
Now, this question is driving towards the man and the woman coming together. So they're in a relationship, they've had their list, they've prayed to God, they've heard from God, everything is going well, but there's family pressure of either you should marry from your tribe. There's the pressure of, I know someone that actually said that a family wanted her to his family wanted her to be pregnant before then, and they're Christians, both Christians. So when all those kind of pressures from especially family pressures come about who you get married to and where you get married from, or oh, don't marry a white person, or don't marry a Shekeri person, or it's only Yoruba boys, or Yoruba are demons, or this one. How do you balance it out by not having that combat fight with your family, but at the same time still submitting to them?
All right. Wow, that's interesting. The way that works is the key word is maturity. I have a book titled "I Love You, But My Parents Say No." So I address all these things there. The key word is maturity. What I've discovered is that some people that are trying to get married are not even yet mature in their dealings. If you're a mature person, you know, when you are talking about marriage, in fact, the whole thing that qualifies you to talk about marriage is that you are a mature person. You're not a child. You're not somebody that, you know, so you must start behaving mature before the marriage comes up. Start acting in a way that everybody sees that, okay, this one is a responsible adult now. You know, he or she can make sound decisions. You know, if you're living in a way where your parents are the ones trying to choose who you will marry, then I'm already bothered about, you know, how you even sustain and run your home. Because the way it works, some parents don't ever think you are grown. So they want to keep making decisions for you. The principle is that train a child in the way that he should go. When he grows, there's a time you have to let him do what you have taught him, not trying to still live his life for him as an adult. And that's what some parents want to do. So what I tell people to look out for is you be mature. And when you are bringing up who you want to marry, it's not like you are asking for, you know, permission in that sense. You know, yes, you can present your case. If they have solid reasons why they think you should reconsider or whatever, that's fine. But to be telling you things like, you should get pregnant before you get married. So I'm wondering, you know, how did you present your Christianity to them in the first place? You know, for them to even suggest that. It's like me as a pastor. My parents can't even think about telling me that. They know that it's not even open to negotiation. It's not a discussion. So I'm wondering, how have you been presenting your Christian life for them to feel they can tell you that? I'm sure you've been compromising. You've been painting an image of this thing is not that serious. You know, if you're a strong, serious Christian, and to be honest with you, following Christ is going to be tough. God says, the Bible says, you must be ready to even fight or leave your father and your mother in this business of following Christ. So if you're that kind of person that you want to, you know, follow human beings instead of following God's word, then you're not going to make it. But if you're ready to stand your ground, there are basic things. If they have, what I ask everybody is that, why don't they want you to marry this person? If it's strong reasons, we can deal with that. If it's things like, oh, he must be from our tribe, well, we all know that that's not, there are bad people from every tribe. You know, they are bad people from every tribe. So that the tribe doesn't make somebody good or bad. All right. So that's out of it. You know, if they are not from a rich background, we know that those things don't count. So, you know, I encourage them to stand their ground. Then do they have spiritual parents? You know, because sometimes your natural parents actually have a point in what they are pointing to. So I usually ask, because the Bible, the way the Bible says, say in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word should be established. So that's the Bible principle. So if your natural parents have an issue with who you want to marry, what are your spiritual parents, say? All right. If both your natural and spiritual parents feel you should not marry somebody, that is a red flag right there. But if your spiritual parents, think you should go ahead, then that is a plus. So that's what I'm saying. So you need to be mature. You need to know what you want out of life. You have an understanding. Like, for instance, my wife, when I met my wife, she already told me, because she already knew since she was a teenager that she'll have problem with childbirth. And she already told me that when we met. That was one of the first things she told me once she discovered I was really interested in her. And I told her, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not marrying you for kids. I like you as a person. And besides that, I'm a man of faith. I've walked with God. So you will have children. None shall be barren in the land, So I told her that she forget about that. Let's move on, if that's her concern. You understand? So I wasn't in a position where, and throughout, it took us about 8 years to have our first biological child. And throughout all that period, my in-laws or my family didn't disturb her. I didn't give them that kind of access or allowance to come and tell her, where are our children? Why are you not giving them? No. I stood my ground. If you have any issues, talk to me. Don't talk to her. And nobody could talk. What do you want to tell me? Are you the one that will come and impregnate her for me? My friend, So I think many people are not mature. Many people trying to get married are either not painting themselves mature in their houses, or they're not even just mature. Because the principle is that you must live father and mother. So what even qualifies you to be talking about marriage is that you are ready to stand on your own as an adult. So that's where people slack, and they want their parents to always agree. Life is not like that. You live in Canada, so you know how it is in developed countries. You're not going to tell a child you can't marry somebody.
By 16, you are independent. You can rent your house and leave the house and
exactly. So they are engaging in. Yes.
So we have a couple of questions here. One said, please, I'd like to know about making sacrifices for your partner. How much sacrifice is too much sacrifice?
That is very vague. I will not be able to know exactly
what kind of
the scenario you are painting. This is your partner. I believe you are talking about somebody you are married to. Then what level of sacrifice are we talking? You see, and who is this person? For instance, now there are a lot of things that have changed in the way I teach now. When I started teaching about marriage, because I was using my own marriage as a yardstick, because so I would tell people, husband and wife, you're meant to bring your money together, you're meant to work together, you're meant to have total transparency, and that is what the Word of God encourages. But after many years of counseling people, I found that some people didn't marry my wife. Some wives didn't marry a man like me.